All right, let's dive in. Today we're cracking open a really powerful idea from the ancient book of Ephesians. It's basically a blueprint for a whole new kind of life, a story about rescue and renewal. It's pretty cool, so let's get right to it.
So, let me start by asking you something. What if you could be walking around, breathing, going about your day, but not actually be living? Not really truly alive on the inside. It's a heavy thought, and it's exactly where this ancient text begins.
To really get what this rescue is all about, you've got to first understand what we're being rescued from. And the text, it doesn't pull any punches. It starts by painting well, a pretty grim picture of the human condition before any kind of divine intervention. The text hits us with this wild paradox, this idea of being dead in life. What does that even mean? Well, it describes this state of being buried, just weighed down by our mistakes, our shortcomings, what it calls transgressions. It's like you're so bogged down that you've lost all that real spiritual energy, that vitality. And it goes a little deeper, breaking down what this state looks like. So not only are we buried by our own screw-ups, but we're also influenced by what the text poetically calls the prince of the power of air. Think of it as a metaphor for a kind of cultural current that's always pulling us away from our best selves. And the result? A life that, yeah, it might look fine on the outside, but it's missing that true, deep-down sense of being alive. Okay, so after that, pretty bleak picture, right? But then, bam, the whole story just pivots. The tone completely shifts, and the text introduces this incredible dramatic turning point, the great rescue. And the most important part? It's a gift, a totally unearned gift. And this is the absolute core of it, the main idea. Salvation isn't something you achieve through trying really hard or being super good. According to this text, it's not a paycheck you earn. It's a gift. It's simply given. This is the central point. And this slide really breaks it down for us. Look at the contrast. On one side, you've got this idea of human effort. The whole I've got to do enough good things to earn my way mindset. But the text, it throws that whole model out the window. It proposes something totally different, grace. It's a gift that you don't earn, you just receive. You receive it through faith. It's a huge shift from striving to just accepting. I mean, the source material just nails it with this beautiful, direct quote. It's not some complex formula. It's not a reward for being the best. It's described as God's gift, pure and simple. But wait, the story doesn't just stop at the rescue. I mean, what happens after? Does everything just go back to normal? Not even close. This next part explains that the outcome isn't just that your status changes, it's a complete transformation. You become a new creation. This distinction is so powerful. The text is arguing that you weren't just drowning and someone pulled you onto the shore, leaving you as the same person just a little wet. No, it's saying you are fundamentally remade into something totally new. And this is the aha moment for sure. The original Greek word used here is poema. Now, most translations say workmanship, which is fine, but get this, it's the exact root of our word poem. So the text isn't just saying you're a project God worked on, it's saying you are God's poetry, God's masterpiece, a one-of-a-kind work of art. So, if you've been rescued and remade into a masterpiece, a poem, what for? Are you just supposed to hang on a wall and look nice? Nope. This new creation, this divine poem, comes with a brand new purpose, a new story that you're meant to live out. And this really just ties the whole journey together, doesn't it? The flow makes perfect sense. First, you're rescued from that state of being dead in life. Second, you're remade into a poema, a work of art. And finally, you're released into the world for a specific reason. So what is that purpose? The source lays it out as a two-part mission. First, to model God's good purposes. Just by being this new creation, you're a living, breathing example. You're the poem. And second, you're meant to actively take forward those same good purposes in the world. So it's about who you are and what you do. So after this whole journey from being described as buried and lifeless to being called a masterpiece, the text leaves us with one powerful, really personal question to think about. If you are God's poem, what story are you meant to tell?